Hey, what's up guys? Scott here, back once more with another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the newest DC movie, Supergirl. So, last year we had the Superman, James Gunn's Superman, which was the start, the real beginning of the new DC Cinematic Universe, the DCU they're calling it, just like the MCU is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But, this is DC trying to rebrand after, really wasn't in a good place at the end of the DCEU, which was the previous cinematic universe. So this is a fresh start. With a new story, new characters to focus on. All that good stuff. So anyway, last year we had the beginning of that, which was Superman, and I liked the new Superman movie. I thought it wasn't perfect by any means, but it was fun. I thought it had a lot of cool action. It set up the universe well for what it's going to be going forward. I like that it started with Superman already Superman. He's already been Superman for 3 years at the point of that movie. So he's established, still young in his career, obviously, but well established already. Introduced it kind of threw you right into the story with him. Like I said, already him being established. You do get hints of the origin, but they skip the origin story because at this point everybody should know Superman's origin, right? So with Krypton and all that. So we've seen the origin done a lot of times, through comics, animation, live action, lots of times. So at this point, pretty much everyone should be familiar with Superman's origin. So, and I thought it introduced Lex Luthor well. And just set up everything for this new universe well. So anyway, but at the end of that movie, they introduced Kara, Supergirl, who and to set her up for her own movie. And at the end of the movie, at the end of the Superman movie, you can tell she's not in a great place because she shows up drunk. She's been partying on other planets. So that was going to be really interesting going into this movie to see what was going to happen. So now let's go on to Supergirl. So a lot of critics and stuff have been giving Supergirl a lot of hate, but I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it had a good story. It had good characters. It gives Kara a great arc. She starts out, drunk partying, but then she goes through this arc where she meets this girl named Ruthie who's lost her parents. This villain named Krim of the Yellow Hills killed her parents, and then he's got his group of guys. They're called the Brigands. And this movie is actually based on a graphic novel written by Tom King a few years ago called Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. It came out in 2021, I think, so it's a really recent novel. So they adapted it to film pretty quick. And there are differences that are taken, but I think the differences that they took worked for the movie. Sometimes something can work well in a comic, but it won't translate well to live action. So, the story they told for the movie worked for the movie. There's some things I'm glad they changed. I think Millie Alcock is a great Supergirl. Can't wait to see more of her going forward. Jason Momoa as Lobo is awesome. He's in the movie just enough where he doesn't overshadow Supergirl. Because this is Supergirl's movie, she needs to be the focus. But Jason Momoa as Lobo is in the movie just enough to give you a taste of him. He has a good role, but he doesn't overshadow Supergirl, which is a good thing. The girl Ruthie, she has a good arc too. She starts out like I'm gonna go kill Krim of the Yellow Hills, and she learns humility too, and she meets. She realizes how vast the galaxy really is, right? So. Both her and Kara go on this journey together, and they both have good arcs. Kara overcomes her alcoholism, drunkenness through this journey with Ruthie, and comes out at the other end a hero. She refines her purpose, has a great arc. Arguably my favorite scene in the movie. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but there's a part where Kara is sitting in a cave. And then she dons her suit on. And I like the design of this Supergirl suit. It has the Kingdom Come Super logo. I like that design. I like the lighter blue. I think it looks good. It's different from other suits we've had, which is cool. So I like that they're using the Kingdom Come super logo in this universe, so it makes it stand out, which is good. And one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when Kara puts on the suit and goes off to help fight one of the battles. That was a great scene. And her arc actually reminded me a lot of Valkyrie's from Thor Ragnarok. So Valkyrie in the Marvel universe, she so Kara lost Krypton. Okay, actually, Kara in this continuity, Kara wasn't born until after Krypton exploded, but a piece of Krypton escaped off the planet called it was either Kandor or I think it was Argo City. Anyway, she was born in this continuity. She was born 8 months after Krypton exploded. But like when Argo split itself from Krypton, it like unearthed some kryptonite or something. So it didn't really explain it all too well, I think. But anyway, somehow all the people in Argo started dying of radiation poisoning. So Kara's father sent her out on a pod, when she was older, to go to Earth so that she could escape the radiation poisoning. And we don't know. After that happens in the movie, we don't see Argo again, so we don't know if they somehow survived or if our people are still out there. We don't know, as far as I remember. We assume they have all died by this point, but we'll see, because it never really showed it after Kara was sent off, so we don't really know yet. But anyway, Kara arrives on Earth, So anyway, she's lost her people now, So she's a wreck at the start of this movie. But anyway, Valkyrie was the same way in Marvel. She had lost all her fellow Valkyries to Hela, who had killed all her sisters, and she slumped into a bout of alcoholism and drunkenness and stuff. But she, in Ragnarok, when her kingdom and Asgard really needed her, she came out of it, she donned her armor again, and went off to fight. Kara, in this movie, had a good arc. She meets this girl who's going through a really hard thing too. She breaks free. She breaks through her alcoholism and drunkenness, and comes out the other end a true hero again. Same with Valkyrie. She dons her armor again and helps Thor and all the Asgardians fight Hela, and later against Thanos. But anyway, so both those characters, one in Marvel, one in DC, both had a great arc where they were in a slump, but they found some people to help them lift them up again, to help them out, and they came out the other again heroes again. So I love both those, very similar arcs. So anyway, I think Supergirl was a fun movie, gives Supergirl a great arc, sets her up for great things going forward. The action's good, the humor lands most of the time. Lobo and Ruthie shine, but also not stealing the spotlight from Kara. And Superman makes some cameos in this movie too. He's I would say like an extended cameo, because he's in quite a few scenes. But he's not a part of the main story, so he doesn't overshadow Kara, and that was important, because this is Supergirl's movie and needed to establish her, so they did a great job in that respect. Having other DC characters in the movie, but not overshadowing Kara. So this movie gets an 8 out of 10 from me, and so yeah, can't wait to see more going forward of Supergirl, and we got Man of Tomorrow coming out next year, which she's confirmed to be a part of. So anyway, guys, I'm excited to see it. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.